Hey, I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Sheldon.
Two childhood best friends from North Carolina.
They moved to Los Angeles to play basketball.
Became successful entrepreneurs in fitness
and entertainment.
Throughout our journey,
we've seen a lot of things,
met a lot of people,
gained a lot of experience
in business and life.
Join us as we talk that talk
from NC
to LA.
Southern gentlemen,
the West Coast businessmen.
The LA to be more exact, Fayetteville, Vietnam. Y'all J. Cole fans out there, we from the same city. You know what I mean? He was like a young pup coming up. You know what I mean? When we was doing the thing in the city. I think he was a sophomore when we were seniors. I think he like 2 years behind us, 3 years behind us.
He possibly sophomore.
Yeah, but we was like, you know, we legends from the crib. You know what I mean? No doubt, for real. This guy was player of the year in the city. You know, I was the #1 player in the state of North Carolina. I'd have been in the newspaper, all kind of stuff. You know, for acting and basketball and all that other stuff. Can I say, hey, Parker? I just did. Hey, Parker. Tell Justin thanks for sneaking us in the school. Oh, yeah, that's James Golden. That's Biscuit. Remember, we're going to talk about that. Remember he snuck us in the 71st. We getting into that. Today's episode is called Senior Year. So we're going to talk about senior year and the things that we got into in our senior year. All right, I'm pressing record. See our equipment? Look at that soundboard. Ooh. Bet you don't got a soundboard like that. All right. You can only hear the sound effects in my headphones, so sorry. All right, ready?
Boy got the sound effects today.
Yeah, we do. Ready? I'm pressing.
Yep, let's go.
NC to LA. Y'all already know. I'm sorry. I said NC
to LA.
That's what it is, baby.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Facebook, we tapping in today for the first time. I've been on IG a couple times, and today we get to tap in with the Facebook family. So good to see everybody today.
Yeah, we switching roles today. You know what I mean? Little role reversal right there. Justin, last episode was good, man. It was a good one. We talked about D1. It was called D1. Going D1 in the process of, you know, our journey to becoming Division I college basketball athletes. You know, it's March Madness. So paying homage to that, we both played in the tournament.
No, most definitely, man. I mean, it's just the whole being able to reminisce about like our roots and the foundation of us coming up playing ball. Just thinking about it and being able to pay homage to the ones that came before us. I mean, it's a dope opportunity because, I mean, we're in LA doing this through Facebook and social media. We're able to engage and tap in with guys we haven't talked to, you know, in a while, and, you know, just shoot the breeze about, you know, growing up and our journeys and the process. And
yeah,
it's cool. It's super dope.
And dropping a lot of gems because throughout this process, we gained so much experience, and knowledge about our various, you know, fields of expertise. And then also just like, we're both like intelligent, astute people. And so we're always learning. Justin is more of an audio-visual learner. I'm more the reader of the group.
Yes.
But I definitely love my movies and things like that as well. So in the process of like understanding who we are, what we got going on, we are educated men.
No, for sure.
As well.
I mean, you know, it's often that I come up with just a random fact. You know what I'm saying? She was like, yo, where did you read that? I'm like, man, you know, I was watching a documentary. I major on documentaries, yo. I really love my documentaries, hands down, for sure.
Yeah, he's a big documentary guy. He's been really killing it with listening to podcasts, which is one of the reasons why we have started this podcast. And then also a lot of the motivational things you watching on YouTube and stuff like that. These different videos about real estate and about online business and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, because we do this show, it's funny, you know, I'm able to kind of like pinpoint the mindset. And I'm just like, okay, as a basketball player, when I just wanted to make a team or, get to Division One, what was the mind state? And the purest form of achieving anything is just literally being after it every day, for one, being consistent. And I'm approaching business just like basketball, and I feel like, I'm a freshman in high school trying to make the team, even though I have, a certain amount of experience and things like that. And, it's been successful up to this point. I'm looking towards the future, you know what I mean? And I'm excited about, the opportunities that are ahead of us for sure.
Yeah. And in the process of getting to where we got in basketball, we learned about business and life, about professionalism, about doing different things you need in order to become a basketball player. If you're not one of these guys that gets drafted, first round, second round, even then, it's still a process. And so in learning, experiencing the process, we learn through trial and error. And so we had to, help some people figure some things out without having to do as many errors.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if we could tell you how to get there, you know what I'm saying? With just, without all the BS and the fluff and, hey, what you think about this? Should I attend this camp? Or, what you think about my kid doing this or that? We're going to keep it 100 with you. You know what I mean? We not really guessing about anything that has to do with this basketball game. Even today, Shel mentioned earlier, last episode, about his son being in a position to where, we kind of know he's going D1. It's kind of a no-brainer at this point. But, just making sure that everything else falls in line.
Yeah.
So.
And not even like setting our sights on D1, it's like setting our sights to the ultimate level, which is the NBA. And being in Los Angeles has helped us understand and know that achieving an NBA dream is feasible. It's more realistic to us now than it was whenever we were kids in North Carolina.
Yeah, because there was a lot of guessing and, kind of mimicking the success that other guys around us may have had. If a guy went mid-major or if he went D2 and it was somebody that we kind of looked up to, we were like, man, okay, so what sent him to the Division II, path, so to speak? You know what I mean? Because we like, man, whoever it is, we like, man, they dope. Like, look at the athleticism. Look at how they handle the ball. Their mid-range is crazy. Just the whole nine. And we're trying to make sure that we don't have those holes in our games. At the same time, showing love to like the people that were like super talented.
Yeah.
That just may have missed one thing. You know what I mean? They didn't have a 3-ball, or in a good set, they didn't really operate well. You know what I mean? In a team setting, it doesn't mean they weren't nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just certain programs don't fit certain games.
Yeah. So check this out. The title of this episode is Senior Year. Senior year is very important to student athletes, to students, and we had 2 different types of senior years. And we gonna focus on the senior year because it was our last year living in North Carolina.
Oh my God.
Our senior year was actually our last year living in North Carolina, and from there we moved, went to college, and then eventually landed here in Los Angeles. I posted something on Facebook the other day, a little memory of the all-conference team from our area. And this guy was player of the year that year, his senior year. I had moved out of town to attend Mount Zion Christian Academy. We'll get into that. But, give my man flowers for representing that senior year and coming, coming home with the crown.
Oh, yeah, man.
The crown of Fayetteville is dog. That's major, bro. That stuff we really grew up as kids wanting and wishing. And I wasn't in the city to like cheer you on, and maybe if I was in the city, somebody else might have been player of the year.
Hey,
we
would have battled, baby. I was coming.
For sure. Definitely. But my man definitely held it down his senior year.
Nah, it was a lot of work, that went into it, and a lot of different emotions and feelings because I was the only senior. You know what I mean? And then, just like you just said, you were out of town. Julian, he was at Pine Forest, and we had a good team chemistry. But at the same time, I had a little, nervous bug sometimes about rolling into that leadership role. You know what I mean? Because I had so many great leaders before me, with Tony, Mike, Dion, Curtis, Durden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You had really great leaders for sure.
Like
talented guys also.
Yeah, super talented.
D1 players.
Yeah, You know what I mean? So being the only senior, there was a little bit of pressure. But at the same time, man, I had good leadership. So, I ended up doing well and coming home with the Player of the Year award, and that was pretty dope.
Well, one thing I knew with all those other guys leaving, I knew you was going to get buckets.
Oh, yeah.
I knew you was going to score a lot of points that season.
Man, and being the only senior, you got the ultimate green light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was pretty dope. But at the same time, I was responsible with the green light. I was at the gym every morning, 6 a.m., before school started, getting jumpers up. That was also, a part of the conditions to me maintaining my vehicle at the time. My fly gray Chevy Spectrum hatchback, 2-door, you know what I mean? With what I had like radio room speakers that I like wired in the back. I don't even know how I did it, looking back at it. But at the same time, that car got me to the gym every morning. That's all I cared about. Man, I got up a lot of jumpers. I'll take a shower and then hit class up and be right back ready for practice again. So I put in major work for sure.
Yeah, man. That's one thing about us, we put in a lot of work. And, I attribute that to our fathers, how we was raised. And, we was in the lab together as kids a lot, and so like hard work went hand in hand with us. So it was no coincidence that this guy was working so hard and wound up being Player of the Year. I was in another city. I wound up transferring to Mount Zion Christian Academy my senior year because I was recovering from a torn ACL and MCL of my left knee. Kind of changed my life, changed the perspective of what was going on because I kind of had it made, honestly. And as far as basketball was concerned, D1, I knew that was happening. I just was just playing my role to get to the league. And so now I had to bounce back with this knee injury. Things are a little different at Southview for me. I didn't really necessarily like the energy that was there. And also whenever you step out from the game and make you analyze things a little differently.
For sure.
And then so I had the opportunity to go to Mount Zion. It was a prestigious school. I mean, I probably consulted Justin with every major move of my life to some degree.
Oh, yeah.
And so I definitely called him and we talked about Mount Zion. They tried to get me to go over to 71st, but I already knew if I went to 71st, it was going to be a civil war.
It was going to cause a riot.
No way we play Southview and get out of there without a fight.
Yeah.
No
physical,
way.
Not just,
no.
game.
A real fight. Somebody's getting punched in the face. It's just, I couldn't go to school there.
Yeah.
And then
it was going to get ugly, man. But
yeah.
I mean, it would have been beautiful.
I wish. And then my mother was hesitant because 71st had all the pretty girls. And 71st had some baddies over there. And I don't know if I would have been the most focused at 71st either. But it was my senior year. You know what I mean? You're supposed to turn up.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. But
So
we had dope senior years to say the least.
Yeah. So but you know what? I had to really train to get back in shape because the knee injury I gained a bunch of weight. And so what Mount Zion did was it helped me focus and it definitely whipped me into shape. I trained really hard and and as far as the basketball level, I mean, Jared Jack, who played 16 years in the NBA, was my roommate. Amari Stoudemire was next door. to us, and I think we had 11 Division I basketball players on the team. So
y'all were
that's
crazy.
You know, and we started off number 4 in the country as well. So that's how my senior year, you know, that's how it started. And that was me trying to get myself back on track, bouncing back from the ACL and all that, and just kind of getting out of the city. You know, being real about Fayetteville, we love Fayettille to death. But I feel like there is some envy, but it's everywhere.
Yeah,
you know,
it's just a smaller area, and because everybody's so connected, you know, 6 degrees of separation, you know, some way, shape, or form, you may hear about it. And I mean, just like now, you know, you hear some stuff and you just got to let it roll off your back, like it's social media now. So opposed to it being, you know, word of mouth, face to face type situation. But I mean, just like now, you can't stress none of that. You know what I mean? Everything's just about moving forward. You know what I'm saying, and getting to it every day.
Yeah,
every day.
I mean, because you dealt with your fair share of haters as well. You know, people,
kids and adults.
Kids and adults, they thought adults said you were too small. Yeah. You would never play division. My high school basketball coach told me that Justin Johnson wouldn't play Division I.
Coach Miller, I never forget it.
I called you and told you,
bro. Every time we played y'all, that was the only. And to be real, the messed up thing I think what bothered me so much is that when we were kids,
you wanted to play for the guy.
I was like, yo, it'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? And me and Shel went to Southview because your pops played there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We was Jeff Cable fans.
Yeah, we love Jeff. You know what I'm saying?
Juju connected.
Like, it was just a whole thing. So for him to be like that, I was like, yo. So every time we played y'all, I wanted to scorch y'all. And I mean, I think I was successful. It was like a mercy thing. Like until he got into the paper and like literally was like, it's the best performance I've ever seen a high school kid. And I was like, all right, man, I'll let off. Like, I'll get off you now, bro.
Yo, what I called Jay was, because I got into an argument. I got into an argument with Coach Miller about it.
Yeah, you did. You held your boy down, man.
Bro, I'm always. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Yo, Justin is like, he was like, he's not a Division I player. But see, he was over there Jedi mind tricking me thinking I wasn't even as good as I was. Yeah. And I'm like, nah, my man going D1. Yeah. Hands down, I don't know what you're talking about. And he did. He went major D1 too. He went to the SEC. So bump all that. You know, and I had cats saying this or that, you know, about me. But I had to get out the city to clear my head. I needed to get out the city to clear my head so I can focus and train and get back on target. And I did.
For sure. Yeah, right. I mean, after coming off a knee injury, you know, the big thing you're worried about is like your athleticism. And without question, even to this day, you know what I'm saying? Like you still hold it down in a dunk contest or you know what I'm saying, catching the body or something like that.
For sure. This is a guy who talking from experience that thrown me a lot of lobs. A lot of backdoor lobs have been thrown between these guys, for sure. And we got to put a video together or something soon because we can still get down like that. I can still go backdoor and yam that thing. And my man right here got the gift of God when he talking about throwing them lobs for sure.
Now, it's
the only type of pass he likes to make.
It's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will dribble the ball until, you know, the misdirection happens and I can throw a lob. But one of the things I want to do, bro, I want to go back to the Ville. I want to hit up, you know, wherever everybody get down. And, you know, I'm trying to have some runs, like a weekend of runs. I don't care if it's a tournament.
I really want to do a special, we do need to do a special event with the OGs before, you know what I mean, they over the hill. You know what I mean? Some of these guys still got some juice. Marcus Melvin, where you at?
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
We got to get Marcus Melvin in the building.
Exactly. Chris Dixon, where you at? You still got a little yin. What's going on over there?
Dion, yep.
Yeah, what's going on, fellas?
I seen a few hoop videos of Dion getting it in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, shout out Dion Dixon.
The 6'9" Swiss Army knife.
Man, got everything for you.
Yeah, you do.
So
yeah,
for sure that would be dope.
The senior year, who'd you go to prom with?
Oh my God.
Who'd you go to prom with senior year? We went to prom together.
Oh, the big baggy
Twice.
suits. No,
We gotta show y'all the big baggy. Yo, our tux game was out of control. There's so much material.
I think Keanu McFall.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Kiki. Shout out to
respectfully,
Kiki.
for sure. She's married, man. So yeah. Yeah, that was a good.
Nah, we went to prom together.
Yeah, we went to different schools and went to prom. Did we go to prom once or twice?
I just went to your prom twice.
Yeah, he went to 71st prom twice.
I did.
Shel went to 71st prom twice.
I was like an honorary 71st member, yo.
Yo, by the time our bell would ring for us to get out of class, Shel already be in the hallway by the gym posted up. Like, yo, what's good? What's good? I'm like, yo, how did you get in here, first off?
Well, because...
No cell phones, you know what I'm saying?
Because we went to because I went to private school in Mount Zion.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would get out, we would have days off sometimes. And I'm like, well, let's shoot down to the Ville and see what's good, try to catch Justin before they get out of school. See, what Justin is not telling y'all is he is also the guy, because we pulled up a couple times, but he did sneak us into the school. And we was moving through that joint like we really was in school there.
Yeah.
Which was wild. Like, I think they had like 2 periods left. And we was just making moves through the hallway. Me and 2 of my teammates from Mount Zion. It was 6'9", you know what I mean? Then my man James Golden was there. And so we moved.
Factual.
And then we went to the, Justin invited us to the pep rally.
Yeah, oh my God.
And
yeah,
we sat
to a pep rally.
We sat
at
in the pep.
Sat in the pep rally. Nobody said anything, and y'all had a good time, right?
Man,
we
nobody
had
said
lit
nothing.
Pep rallies for sure at school, and we were.
Nobody said nothing. Nobody told on us. No, nothing.
It was no questioning, and I think like the coaches could identify who you were.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, he here.
Yeah, it was kind of like Shel here. Like, it's just whatever. That's what it was over there on that side. I grew up on that side of town, too. A lot of people don't know. I went to Lloyd Almond Elementary School, and I went to 71st Elementary School first. And then I went to Lloyd Almond. And so I grew up on Strickland Bridge Road over there before I moved to Hope Mills. And so I met Justin on that side of town, playing in the Brentwood Basketball League because I was over there. So I always had the connection to 71st and all of that because I really did grow up over there. So all the guys that he was cool with in school, in high school and all that stuff, they was all my buddies from when we was kids.
Nah, for sure. And then the hoop environment as a whole, from whether you playing pickup or actual guys that were making the teams, that was a crowd within itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That we always run across each other and whatnot in different areas. So
yeah, you had a legendary game against Southview. I was not there.
I did.
But I read it in the papers.
I did.
And the article was crazy. Somebody said you had an S on your chest or something. I think Earl Vaughn called you Superman in the 4th quarter.
Bro, I had 20 in the 4th.
Yeah. He said you went dumb out there. I remember reading it in the paper, and I remember you called me about it.
Yeah, man. I could score in bunches. I mean, once I got going, it was a smooth thing to see. You know what I'm saying?
20 points in the 4th quarter was crazy.
Yeah, and then I'm efficient, so I don't really keep going if I'm not making it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So my percentages always stay high. I think I shot maybe 75% from the floor in high school and 44% from the 3.
That's crazy.
But once I got rolling, you know what I'm saying, it was pretty dope. And then you got guys like Billy Houston in 1 week that that if you miss. You know what I'm saying?
On the boards, heavy. Shout out to Billy Houston. That's my Winthrop Eagle teammate. That's my dog right there. Billy Houston.
Casey Long was a freshman.
The young boy. Yeah.
Oh my God, he was a freshman.
He was the chosen one. The young chosen one.
Man, he'd go get you 10, 11 rebounds every game and then 15, 14.
Hyper athlete.
So, having guys like that is just okay, well, if I miss, we're going to get a rebound. You know what I mean? And of course, I just wasn't trying to miss like that either, but it was just a relaxing situation to be able to shoot the ball and you got crazy guys going to get the boards.
Yeah.
And them dudes, Casey, he had a crazy highlight against Smith. Casey freshman year, he banged on somebody crazy. Like, he just used to go to the rim with just reckless abandon. And if he fell, he fell. If he got blocked, he got blocked. But he was always, like, truly trying to catch a body.
Yeah.
And shout out to Casey Long. He's assistant coach at Murray State.
Yes,
and
he
they still
is.
having a successful run. I think they're playing today. And after we finish shooting that, hopefully I can get a chance to, catch some of that game.
Yeah, and
Shout out to Casey Long for sure.
And
man.
they putting people out there in the league too over there at Murray State. Y'all
Yes,
already
they are.
know what time it is. Ja.
Yeah, John Moran is going crazy.
There's another cat came out last year though. Or he coming out this? They had somebody last year they sent.
I'm not sure, man. We got to do our homework for this year. I mean,
Murray State been doing their thing now. They've been getting busy.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Shout out Casey, man. That's one of our young boys, man. He was up under Justin's wing over there.
Man,
Yeah.
he came through just no fear. And, he was from Louisiana. Initially, he had just won a state championship out there before he transferred.
Mm-hmm.
And he really came to 71st ready to work.
Yeah.
We had a good, successful year. I think he played at UT Chat. So
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So, you know who else played at UT Chat? One of my buddies, Terrell Owens.
Okay.
Hall of Famer.
Okay.
He's a UT Chat guy.
Yeah.
And Terry T.O. is really one of my guys.
Yeah,
Real
now
talk.
T.O., he be in the place consistently.
Yeah, T.O. pull up for me. You know what I mean? If it's the right situation, he'll definitely pull up. I done played basketball with him a bunch of times.
Man, T.O. still dunking, bro.
T.O. is still dunking. Funny story though. First of all, before I tell this funny story about T.O. T.O. is like one of the greatest athletes on the planet. This guy's like 50 years old. He runs like a 4.4. He can still dunk. He's got abs, like pectorals. Like, the guy's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
But last summer, he was playing well. And he got on the break by himself. And then we all was like, oh, snap, T.O. about to bang out. T.O. goes up to bang out, and he got hung bad. And he landed directly on both knees. And I never seen this ever. Yo. And I'm like, bro, how are your kneecaps not shattered? He got up and ran back on defense.
Indestructible knees. T.O.
I'm like, T.O., like, bro, you went up 10 feet and literally landed on both knees. I'm talking like kneels. Double kneel. And I'm just like, ooh.
Like, come on, man. That's
But he was good, though. He kept playing, like, whatever. I'm like, yo, this guy T.O. is crazy, bro.
The real life Terminator, man. T.O.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. NC to LA, right? So to us, it's very normal to run into Terrell Owens and, like, hang out and talk to people like this. You know what I mean? Like, if T.O. pulled up in the Ville, it would be pandemonium, though. It would be crazy. Like, if he went to Cross Creek Mall, he shut the mall down.
Yeah, everybody will want to hire
For real. And that's just the homie right now. We just hoop with him.
Yeah. I mean, and, just with our professions, we end up in a lot of places where these guys are. And, I mean, I think just really because Shel is in the industry, like, you're not really on the whole starstruck situation. And
Not that much.
Once you start chopping it up with people, you know what I'm saying, you just start to find out, like, oh, okay, they're pretty normal. They just really out there and known and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, what I'm saying, my battle of, like, wanting a bag and not wanting to be known.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that I've always fought with.
The thing with me, as I get older, the bag becomes more important than the fame, but I know the fame leads to the bag. So it's a bit of a balance. But I'm not fame thirsty. But I know that it comes with the territory, and if I use it right, that influence can help me help people, not just financially, but also through motivation.
No, for sure. I mean, because to pursue your dreams, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just so a cliche statement, but the work that goes behind it and the thing of people being able to see somebody that looks like them achieving, a certain level of success in the industry is always inspiring. You know what I'm saying? And I can't remember who said it, but it's a quote out there like, if there's someone that looks like you and they're successful, there's no excuse for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you just got to put in the work. So
Yeah.
it's as a friend, it's been dope. It's just, you know what I'm saying, watch the journey, and of course, you know, run upon like some of the people that we've had the opportunity to meet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I went, T.O. and I had the same publicist for a little bit, and I went to a Boys and Girls Club thing. This is whenever he was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. And it was a bit controversial because he decided to have his own Hall of Fame induction ceremony. He decided not to attend the actual NFL one.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And so it was a bit controversial at the time.
Yeah.
Right. And so we were doing some public relations situations, and so what a lot of people don't really know about T.O. T.O. is a very kind, giving person. Right, I don't know what the media has portrayed him or whatever, but how I've interacted with him, especially with kids, like T.O. actually wants the world to be like a better place. Like,
he always been a dope dude. Like every time we hoop, you know what I'm saying, he identifying like who the true hoopers are, but at the same time, like he got to gain, you know, a certain level of talent as well out there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's super respectful. He don't really play. He don't unless like it's a celebrity game.
What's up, proper?
You know, the celebrity aspect of it. But for the most part, every time we run up against him, you know what I'm saying, individually, you know, this is always an equinox, or, you know, with each other. And, Dennis or something. It's always dope. Always cool.
First time we worked together was we were NBA 2K games was trying to get the NFL contract for basically to replace Madden or to do the NFL video game. Mm-hmm. And so they did a teaser, a trailer, and it was me and T.O. So I was the new rookie and he was the vet. And so we had an interaction and a conversation as the vet and the rookie, because they wanted to pitch the story mode, the career mode, which I wound up being in on NBA 2K basketball. They wanted that to be football. And so that was like, so me and T.O. did that. And then later with the publicist, we spoke to a group of kids at the Boys and Girls Club. And that's when that was like at the height of Nickelodeon Game Shakers. And so it was T.O. and I, you know, having a conversation with these kids. But a lot of these kids hadn't seen Terrell Owens. They just knew he was an eminent football player, NFL guy. And so it was a point in time where the kids were kind of like, well, who's more famous between the two of you? And like me, I'm just like, T.O. off tops, but the kids is like Nickelodeon. You know what I mean? And so but then what T.O. did, we both pointed at each other.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
we both pointed at each other, and I was like, dang, bro, that's wild. Like, and he kept giving me love in the process. Like, man, this guy played pro basketball. I wanted to play pro basketball, you know, and all of these different things. And I was like, dang, yo, like, dude, like, really being, you know, humble about the situation and showing me love. And, like, the kids ate it up, man. It was awesome.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's dope to hear because, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how he's always perceived, you know what I'm saying, in public and social media and whatnot. So, and like I said, I mean, you know, being able to, like, share this, you know, whether people care or not, but I mean, it's just dope, you know what I'm saying? To be able to put it out there and just different experiences and whatnot. Yeah.
I mean, and that also, like, it kind of boosted from, once I went to Mount Zion, like, things started to change and really kind of come into perspective with the type of people we were interacting with and guys. You know, my future teammates actually really going to the NBA and, you know, traveling around the country. My first time I actually came to California and Los Angeles was at Mount Zion. We played in the Rim Rattler tournament in Long Beach.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when we flew here, Long Beach, the LBC.
You know.
When we got here, bro, they picked us up in a stretch limo. And we high school kids just like, what? And I got pictures, you know, we crowded in that thing, but yo, we like 12 deep in the stretch, like, and that was my introduction to LA, to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I'm
Hollywood.
like, we got here and we went from Durham, North Carolina, landed at LAX and got in limos, bro, and went to Long Beach and played in the Pyramid.
Yeah, the whole travel ball situation, or I don't even know if you call it. Some portions of it was AAU, and then the other portions of it was just like rogue, rich shoe companies just pumping money towards, high school basketball tournaments, and we were flying everywhere for free.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like we had been by the time we were 16, we had been to Vegas.
Come on, man.
Probably like 4 or 5 times.
Justin was calling me I was hot the first time I didn't get to go to Vegas. Jay calling me from Vegas. You know what I mean? Like 14, 15 years old in Vegas, hanging out on the strip.
On the strip.
Like,
man.
real talk. Like, I was 15, I was 16 when I finally got to go out to Vegas. But we was in Vegas, from Fayetteville, North Carolina, out there living. Kicking it.
Dope.
And he was calling each other throughout the whole process, man.
And I mean, that was just all through basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We experienced a lot through basketball. But yeah, the flying for free, all of the gear, the shoes.
Dumb gear. Darius Miles is at our game, bro. And this is that head-tapping height of Darius Miles with the Clippers.
Hugh Richardson.
Yes, Darius Miles from the Clippers, he was friends with Jared. Mm-hmm. And so I was just tripping. And he was over there, he had his platinum chain on. I think that was the first time I seen a platinum chain in real life, dog.
We was platinum chain.
I was like, yo, he had the crazy long platinum chain. He was cool with Jared.
So silly, man.
Man, I couldn't believe it, bro. I was like, yo, we really out here in LA. Like, it's really Hollywood. Who else? We played Jason Childress in that tournament too. Oh my God, he went nuts in the championship game.
Oh man, yeah.
Jason Childress
right now.
With the fro, Jay Chill.
Jason Childress, he got a crazy real estate situation.
And he made a crazy bag in the league.
Yeah, he did.
Remember when he went to Greece for 1 year and got like $12 million?
Yes,
he broke the European bank.
Yeah, because they were really pushing for NBA guys to come over there.
And
they were really throwing money like.
And he was a pretty good name too at the time. He was a starter for the Hawks.
Remember Kobe? They was trying to throw a bag at Kobe.
They was trying to get Kobe for something stupid.
Like with a villa and Ferrari.
Yeah, like 50 million, like mountain. Country about to go into debt, and they trying to throw Kobe.
You gonna put your face on the side of a mountain, Kobe. And I'm like, yo, all right.
Rest in peace, B, man.
Rest in peace.
That's one of my favorite people I ever worked with on set ever. Kobe Bryant, I love the guy. He had time for me, always had some time for me. We miss Kobe. Kobe was amazing. I think I worked with Kobe 5 times, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, like not being able to see the full run of his second act. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because he was getting down.
On the business tip, for sure. He was pioneering. But that's one thing about Kobe. Kobe was brilliant from the gate.
Yeah.
And he came to speak to us at Adidas camp. And he was like 20, 21. He had just married Vanessa. Okay. So he was young. He pulled up in the limo with Vanessa, with the Oakleys on, ball, like, oh, snap, it's Kobe. And he had a conversation with us. And I had never heard anybody approach the game like Kobe approached the game. How he mentally told us he mentally prepared.
Yeah.
He was like, somebody was like, about playing him one-on-one. He was like, I've already beat you 1,000 times in my mind. I was like, what?
Like, who even gives a response?
I'm like 16, like, what are you talking about, bro? I was like, Kobe is deep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's the deepest thing I've ever heard in my life.
You can't even rebuttal to that. And then he was like, but he was talking about practicing in his sleep, like literally,
mentally,
literally being conscious enough during his slumbers that he was getting reps up. I was like, yo, this dude is like 20. He's only a few years older than us.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what? It just blew my mind, changed my whole perception of how basketball is even supposed to be played. I'm like, well, guys are thinking like this, playing like this.
Yeah.
I'm behind.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to get my mind right. You know what I'm saying? I got to go back to the lab and, redo this whole situation. But
bro.
He was special for sure.
Yeah, man. Sure. Definitely. You been to some Laker games out here?
Yes, I have, man.
We used to have an OG that had season tickets that used to bless us.
Yeah, shout out to
Germs?
Israel, Dahan,
Okay.
and Germs.
Mhm.
Yeah, man. Israel got the crazy seats. He always complaining about them because they're behind the visitors bench. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, you like literally high-fiving everybody from every squad that come through. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, but I want behind the Lakers. And yeah, he used to throw the tickets all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been to a good amount of Laker games. I mean, and that's an experience, bro. Like, you know, it's LA. You know, it's a show still. You know what I mean? So it's pretty dope. If you ever come to LA, you gotta go to a Laker game.
Yeah, for sure. And the Clippers games be lit too.
Yeah.
So when we went to the Laker games, I always said I think we had row 18 seats. But when I got to the Clippers game, I sat in row 2.
Yeah.
So it was right there in the mix. Jay I don't know if you came with me to a Clipper game, but anyways, he used to text me because he would see me on TV. Because I would sit right behind the announcers.
Yeah, and then sometimes you can scoop down.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Depending on who they was hooping against. It was the front row, but it wasn't courtside. Mm-hmm. It was the first row of the bleachers thing. Yeah. So
right
that was
commentators.
Cool. Yeah, for real. I was right there. And then Corey Maggette was still playing for the Clippers back then. And it was cool because I remember Corey Maggette showed me love when I visited NC State. I visited NC State, but they played Duke. But the guy that I was the most interested in was Corey Maggette. Because he was just doing stupid highlights his freshman year at Duke, bro.
Yeah, Corey Maggette, I mean, if you have signature dunks and moves and whatnot, Corey Maggette's signature was the super hard bang out and then slap the backboard both hands. You know
his chest would be up on the freaking hoop, bro.
Yeah, almost hitting his head type joint.
Yeah.
So that was the whole, Corey Maggette, power dunker. You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous athlete. That was his thing. And then from Duke and then to be in LA. And to be in the same facility as him.
Yeah.
On a regular basis.
Oh yeah, because we practiced at the same facility. So you see, but also I saw the type of Corey Maggette is the guy was in great shape.
For sure.
And so I saw the extra work that he would put in. Remember with Rich, the trainer?
Yeah.
Rich was our homie.
Crazy.
Rich is our homie. Just ain't seen him in a minute. I seen him on set a couple times with CP3. But I seen all the extra work that Corey was putting in on his body to stay in shape, and the guy was in great shape. And he's one of the few people ever that put me in a kind of virtual torture rack that I just couldn't get out of. We were playing at Hacks one time, and he caught me at the elbow, and he just I think it was four buckets in a row from the elbow, and it was kind of the same move.
Different variations.
It was the Kobe turn fake, and he just was reading me. And he scored the 4 joints in a row and actually hit the game winner and called it on me. And I just was I didn't know what to do.
So I mean, just perspective, Rich Wood or still is, right?
Yeah.
The Clippers trainer, and because of his health level, he works out with a lot of guards.
Yeah.
Well, he was at the time.
CP hired him.
Okay.
CP, he was working one-on-one with CP. For a minute. You see what type of situation CP in at the end of his career.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, the man would just he could play with NBA dudes.
He could hoop.
Yeah, he could.
We liked hooping with him.
He was a trainer for the Clippers,
Loved hooping with him.
He could go get $200K overseas.
You and him had some battles because y'all was around the same
we
side.
would go at it.
And I tell you a fact about him. He didn't have no meniscus.
Bro.
He didn't have no meniscus in either knee.
With a knee brace, bro. Nah, I respected
He
this
had
guy.
no meniscus. He couldn't even jump, but he was fast and
Yeah.
strong, and he had skills.
And again, because he had the education and the knowledge of a trainer, he understood strengthening everything else around his knee, would still, allow him to go out and play, I'm saying, every now and then until, it got too bad or, the swelling or whatnot. But, Rich, shout out to Rich, man. He's a crazy athlete trainer.
Yeah, for real. So Mount Zion, when I went to Mount Zion, because Mount Zion is a Christian school.
Yeah.
And there's one reason also I chose to go there because I have a Christian background. My grandmother is a devout Christian minister, and I grew up with that in my home. And even though I was a good person, I was a bit of a wild child as well. I did a bunch of naughty things that a lot of people don't necessarily really know about. Justin, that's why.
Naughty things. What? Naughty things. Like,
It's the truth, man. Yeah. It is. It was one person. This guy, he's definitely in real life not as conservative as people necessarily think he is, but he's gotten better over the years.
For sure.
But he's also been one of my voices of reasoning because I know he's a wild dude in his mind, so I can at least talk to him and he can relate with me with my decision I might make or the decision I have made and give me a fair perspective of it because he's more conservative, I think, than I am. But he also got, you know what I'm saying, he a little thrown off in some areas too.
Yeah, no, like the things that I think and the actions, you know what I mean? Like, and knowing right and wrong and all of that. Yeah, it's sometimes a little skewed, you know what I mean, just to say the least. But, yeah, you know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, when we're giving each other advice, it's always going to be valid advice. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to tell each other anything that's going to have us, you know what I'm saying, looking crazy. And sometimes, I know for myself, like, if you don't want that voice of reason, sometimes I'm just going to go and do it and then, you know what I'm saying, have a conversation with you later. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know this ain't necessarily thought through properly, but I'm going to do it and then, you know what I'm saying, we'll chop it up about that later.
He never been a yes man type of friend.
Oh, no.
He never been. He is definitely a great cheerleading friend, but he's not a yes man. And we have a lot of great mutual respect for each other and our decisions, and even indecisions that, you know, we've had throughout our life. But going to Mount Zion, I did feel like I needed to be shaped up a little bit physically, but then also just like mentally, socially. And I got into like slight little bit of trouble early in Mount Zion, but like then I wound up having to do like work detail and, you know, even the aspect of that, you know what I mean? Having to clean up the preschool after school for like 2 weeks, you know what I mean? Because I did something naughty. It was like, it's the type of thing that I needed in my life. Honestly, for real. And nobody called my parents and told on me or anything like that. You know, they were treating us like young men. Yeah. And trying to save us from ourselves before we went out into the world.
Yeah, did anything
that really was going to cause jeopardy, because a lot of even though I went to Mount Zion with a clean record, there were a lot of guys on my team that had been arrested, had been kicked out of schools, had problems, and so they were there to, you know, get their life back on track. And even though the school administration didn't really know that, or maybe my parents didn't really know that I needed that in my life, there was a part of me that knew I did. But I just wasn't going to military school. But I did go to that Black Christian school, and it helped get me on track. I remember, so Amari didn't like to go to school, right?
Amari Stoudemire went to Mount Zion, and he did not like going to class.
He did not like going to class, and it was an issue every day getting him there, and he usually showed up late, right? So one day, me and my boy James Golden, we tried to pull an Amari card, but we were not Amari. So here we are, you know, this is probably about school and stuff. We was like, we not going to school today.
Yeah.
Whatever, like we pulling the Amari. Like, if anything, I'm going to show about third period, whatever. And so they usually had this flunky pick people up, right?
Oh my God.
You know what I'm
flunky,
saying?
Bro. A flunky.
Okay, well, a better term. Okay. That's what he's not a flunky. Excuse me.
All right.
Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
Justin is really giving me his eyes right
man,
now.
Come on, like, we show out to everybody that helps in any situation.
Yes, positivity. Well, this is what I'm trying to get at is, they used to send like a guy who was like an assistant chef or something like that, whatever to come, right? Mm-hmm. Not a flunky, but somebody just, you know. So we felt like we could finesse him.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They sent somebody, no flunky, but somebody that we felt like we could finesse and get out of going to school.
Okay.
But this time, he wasn't available. So they sent Jared Jack's dad. And Deacon Jack.
Yeah.
And Deacon Jack is like
Deacon Jack sounds like a superhero.
Deacon Jack is like 6'4", 280. He was a
superhero.
He is a superintendent of the school. Strong man. We like, why did they send Deacon Jack? Where's the flunky?
Yo, what's going on here?
Where's the other guy?
Y'all hit us with the switcheroo.
Deacon Jack got us. He put us in that vehicle, and he just, oh my God, he talked my ear off. And then Deacon Jack had, I don't know, he had $2,500 in his pocket for some reason. Right? I don't even know.
Because he's a superhero?
So he's just telling me and my boy James about the importance of school and doing the right thing and all this other stuff. And he was like, whenever you need to do these things so whenever you get my age, you can do what you want. And you can do what you need to do. He was like, I got $2,500 right here. He was like, you ever seen $2,500 at one time? And I'm sitting in the car in the driver's seat like, no, not exactly. He slapped me with it. He slapped me with $2,500 in the face. He was like, bow, bow. You ever been slapped with $2,500? That's what $2,500 feels like on your face.
Bro.
I'm dead serious.
I don't even know how I accept that as a kid, as a high school
I was
kid.
so offended, but blown away and impressed at the same time.
Just kind of like, if you had seen $2,500 before, you would have told on him. But because you hadn't seen $2,500 before and then he smacked you with it, it's like, oh man, I gotta up my game so much.
I know. I'm like, bro, Deacon Jack just slapped me with $2,500, bro.
Yo,
Jared Jack's father.
You gotta call that a move, the Deacon Jack. Like, yo, you slap somebody with some money, you got hit with the Deacon Jack.
And then he dropped us off at school. And we were never late again. Me and James, Deacon Jack, Jared Jack's daddy. For sure.
Man, that was pretty cool. Coach Poole tapped in. My mama, of course,
Coach
she in the building.
Poole, what's up, Coach Poole? I really wanted to play for you, Coach Poole. I really did.
Nah, that would have been crazy. That would have been
I
crazy.
love Coach Poole. From just off the strength of what he did for you and Mike and how happy you guys were over there. I wanted to switch sides, but I knew it was going to be a riot.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Like, you talking about the discipline and, Deacon Jack. And it's oh man, this is like the perfect segue from Deacon Jack to Miss Poole.
Okay. I heard a lot about Miss Poole.
Yeah, so the cool thing with, at 71st, and I feel like, a strong reason why the tradition was so strong was because Miss Poole, she made sure that we were taking the classes that we needed to be eligible, to get recruited by colleges. So, within that, we couldn't take like just garbage classes. You know what I'm saying? Like we always had to take, the classes that was a part of our, required courses in order to get to college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we were like, man, I'm trying to take this class, that class. And I mean, it was always, we were trying to load our schedule with trash classes. But like Miss Poole was not having it. And for real, like, it's all love. I love you, Miss Poole. Statute of limitation. Like she would in school grab us like by the ears, like if we weren't doing what we were supposed to be doing, if she would pull us out of class and literally walk us down the hallway by ear. You know what I mean? Yeah. And not even for show, like for pain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she always made sure like our grades were on point. Always. And not just like, I'm saying, oh, I'm gonna talk to a teacher so you can get that C bumped up to a B.
Yeah.
Nah, it was like you're gonna do the work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so she wasn't playing no games, and she was the muscle or like the security.
Yeah.
And Coach Poole, did his job as far as allowing us to run and putting us in the position to be successful. Playing for him.
Some great pickup games over there. The Open Gyms at 71st were awesome. Open Gyms at Southview were awesome as well.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of great pickup being played in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I got one more Deacon Jack thing. It's, well, me and James Golden is one of my best friends, and so we met at Mount Zion, and so I was on a diet because I was losing weight, just trying to bounce back from the knee injury, and so we both had free lunch, and so what we did, we were selling we could have more than one, so we were selling the free lunches for the low, right? So if a free lunch was like $3, me and James was moving it for like $2, right? And I was on the diet, so by the time each meal got incrementally smaller, right? So by the time I got to like my third, me and James shared the pot. I think we wound up making like $120, right? And so by the third meal, it was like a smaller portion, so I eat that, you know what I mean? This is how I'm losing weight, or whatever, you feel me?
And getting to the money at the same time.
Exactly. Deacon Jack caught us one day. He pulled us to the side, and he accused us of larceny and embezzlement, which is possibly technically correct.
Larceny and embezzlement.
Yeah. For selling the free lunches.
Yo, that's real. That's real.
And so, I think this is after he slapped me with the 25. I'm trying to get to the bag now. You slapped me with 2,500. I'm trying to figure out how to get to the bag.
You started this. You influenced it.
How we enterprising. And so he came and he didn't tell on us anything, but he had a conversation with us. You know, me and James like, chill out. He's like, I feel where you coming from, but that's not the right thing to do. And it's like the Lord's money type situation.
My God.
Things, some Sheldon Bailey facts that you just might not know.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, put that in your bank and lock that in. You know what I mean? So now you know.
Slanging them free lunches, baby, at the Christian school.
We always gonna be up.
Oh my goodness, these are true stories, man. But then also at Mount Zion that year, we got to play at Duke multiple times. So Carlos
was playing on the national schedule, national stage.
Carlos Boozer was there. Mm-hmm. Christian, I met Christian Leitner and played against Christian Leitner multiple times. Okay. Jason Williams, Chris DeLon, all these guys. It was awesome, man. It was amazing to be over there. Carlos Boozer was really good, very strong and aggressive.
Boozer, cool dude too.
Who was the best player you played against your senior year?
Oh man.
Where do you rank Chris Wilcox? One of those guys?
Man, yeah. Chris Wilcox was a freak athlete for sure. We played them one time in the regionals at ECU. And I remember him, like, you know what I'm saying, catching a rebound backwards and literally just, like, going right back up the same way. Like, the rim was behind him. He got the rebound this way and then went right back up and dunked the joint backwards. And I was just like, man.
I wish I could have seen that in Low 71st game. I really wanted to see that. I really wanted to be there for that game, bro.
But what was crazy is, like, I mean, to be honest, we controlled the game the entire time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it was Chris Wilcox and they had Michael, what's the other dude?
They had Mike Bell and they had Allen Lovett.
And Allen Lovett. And
you know how special Mike Bell was.
For sure. But I think the thing was because those were the threes that they had.
Yeah.
And then when it was, Mike, Tony, Dion, and then it was nobody for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they didn't have.
Then you coming off the bench with Billy and Juan and just a lot going on right there.
And so like I think that had, that helped out. You know what I mean? Because we were so loaded. It was just like, okay, well, if Justin starts scoring, like who do we put? You know what I'm saying? Because they were going to for sure pay attention to Mike, Tony, and Dion. You know what I mean? They're the seniors. So a lot of times, just, being honest, I would get off, and I had to make the shots, of course, but like I would get off because some teams just didn't have enough. They just weren't, loaded enough to line up with us.
Yeah. But in all honesty, I did my senior year. There was a little something funky going on with like recruiting with me at Mount Zion. Even though I was quite happy with a lot of things about Mount Zion, so I had to transfer and go to Jordan High School, which is a public high school. And that's where I met my good friend. Well, he was my good friend, and he's still my good friend. he's been struggling dealing with some things. I love him to death though. Devin Body, Debo, who was actually the other player of the year in Durham. So, you know what I'm saying? I had the homie in Fayetteville got player of the year, the homie in Durham got player of the year. He went to East Carolina. I met him there, stayed with his family. I love the Body family. Great last name, right? Body.
Yeah.
So
Body best.
yeah, and then Justin knows all this stuff because he was in communication the whole time. Because I thought about transferring back home and finishing the season at 71st, but the riot aspect was still there.
Yeah, like I mean, and anytime like a word got out about like somebody major transferring to 71st because we all lived around each other, like people start snitching instantly. You know what I mean? Like coaches were gonna tell, and it was just not gonna go. He does not stay in the district.
It was no way I could imagine Ron Miller even letting it happen. Even if I moved to Justin's house, which I was totally down with because I love the Johnsons and they would have welcomed me with open arms. It's just I can't see any way that man would have let that thing ride. But I did go to Jordan High School. I graduated from Jordan with thespian honors. I graduated in National Honor Society, and I did meet the future mother of my son, Solomon Bailey, who was actually born in Durham, and his origin, comes from that move to Durham, and years later, his conception and birth in Durham, North Carolina, was from, later, not my senior year, but once I moved there, and then down the line later,
manifested from that experience.
Yeah, it did, and so I can't have this conversation about a senior year and not talk about meeting, his mother, and the relationship that we had that led to having this amazing young man on our hands.
For sure. Shout out to Chelsea.
Chelsea. Yep. Chelsea and Solomon. Yep, that's what it is.
So what's the word, man? What we doing?
I don't know. How you want to send them off?
Man, we appreciate everybody for locking in. For sure, these are our first few episodes, and we're kind of growing quicker than we expected. So be on the lookout as far as just your regular podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Spotify will be on there shortly, but for sure we enjoy everybody catching it live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Mama, shout out to April.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mama, Poole, Coach Poole.
For sure. You can feel free to put some little suggestion slips into our DMs.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hey, yeah, feel free to send some suggestions to our direct messages. We open to it, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is something that we've committed to for the next year. So for sure, we want every episode to improve. And we will start having guests. You know what I'm saying? In the next couple of weeks. Guests.
We're gonna eventually allow y'all to be able to call in as well. We'll open up, certain segments for all of that. But the main thing is, like our guy Keon Kendra says, consistency leads to currency. So we want to continue to be consistent. Sure. It's our third Sunday in a row that we done got in the lab and got this done, and we're just gonna keep cooking up. If there's any things that you all want to hear from us or hear about from us, let us know. Sure. We got these stories for days. You know what I mean? Jay, we got Jay got Kanye stories. We both got Jamie Foxx stories.
Oh my God!
We got LeBron James stories. The rabbit hole goes quite deep. I know people love celebrity, but we also got a bunch of other, experiences and things like that. And so yeah. Sure. And I'm not too bashful about some of my activities. Justin's a little more on the cuff. I'm a little more off the cuff.
For sure.
But
I get it. Well, nah, man, I ain't gonna get you pregnant.
It's the yin yang. Yeah. It's the yin yang situation. You know what I mean? I'm dark skinned. He light skinned. I'm tall. He's shorter.
You give me what you want in any situation.
I got long hair. He's bald headed.
Man, come on, man. It's all about options.
He got neck tats and my neck is clear.
So now, man, another good episode.
Yes, y'all.
Thank y'all for tapping in again.
That's what it is. NC
to LA.
Southern gentleman to West Coast business.
Holla.
That was